Good day. This is Back the Truth with Vernon Darby, October 15, 2024. The drought is now having a serious impact on southern Africa, and governments say they will have to kill hundreds of wild animals to feed people. Namibia is looking at slaughtering 723 animals, including 83 elephants, 30 hippos, and 300 zebras. Zimbabwe has authorized the slaughtering of 200 elephants. The international press reports that the government says this would alleviate the region's worst drought in 100 years, reduce pressure on land and water, and prevent conflict as the animals push further into human settlements seeking food. Making human-like robots, oh yes. Are we at the point in our development when man will make human-like machines ready to assist us in our offices and at home? Let us find out from Mr. Elon Musk.
A robot with arms and legs instead of a robot with wheels. And we've made a lot of progress with Optimus. And as you can see, we started up with someone in a robot suit, sort of down, and then we've progressed dramatically year after year. So if you extrapolate this, you're really going to have something spectacular, something that anyone could own. So you could have your own personal R2-D2 C-3PO. But fundamentally, at scale, the Optimus robot, you should be able to buy an Optimus robot for, I think, probably $20,000 to $30,000 long term. So, and what can it do? It'll basically do anything you want. So it can be a teacher, babysit your kids. It can walk your dog, mow your lawn, get the groceries, just be your friend, serve drinks, whatever you can think of, it will do. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. And I think this will be the biggest product ever of any kind. Yeah. Because I think everyone, of the 8 billion people of Earth, I think everyone's going to want their Optimus buddy. And there's going to be maybe two. And then they'll be producing products and services. I predict, actually, provided we address risks of digital superintelligence, 80% probability of good, a good outcome. Look on the bright side. The cup is 80% full. The cost of products and services will decline dramatically, and basically anyone will be able to have any products and services they want. One of the things we wanted to show tonight was that Optimus is not a canned video. It's not walled off. The Optimus robots will walk among you. Please be nice to the Optimus robots. So you'll be able to walk right up to them, and they'll serve drinks at the bar.
That's a video there featuring Mr. Elon Musk. The Jamaica Constabulary Force says a man who was fatally shot during a confrontation with police in the Villa Palm community of St. Catherine was the main suspect in the Cherry Tree Lane shooting in Clarendon, in which 8 people were killed in August. He has been identified as 32-year-old Kedrick Campbell, otherwise called Wormy or Villa Palm. The challenge is one murder is probably down, but the environment is ready to create 2 or more to replace the one just killed. We need to lock down this murder breeding factory. And another interesting bit of news involving Archdeacon Patrick Cunningham. Archdeacon Patrick Cunningham has been caught in a ball of fire on social media as critics blasted him for his homily at Norma Query's funeral service. I received a copy of a voicemail by Don Query, which was sent to Archdeacon Cunningham. There are some who say that the man spoke the truth, and some members of the family were too sensitive to his remarks. My concern is that as a man of God, you should reach out to the family. They are hurting because they probably misunderstood the comments that you made at the funeral. I have spoken to the Archdeacon twice, and I'm yet to get a response from you, sir. While many knock you for your homily, I will only knock you for how you have responded so far. Your silence is deafening. Archdeacon Cunningham, a funeral service is not a place for a comedy show. Leave the comedy to comedians. Remember, what is joke to man is death to bullfrog. And in talking to Mr. John Levy about contract employment, John Levy, a trade unionist, comments on the practice of fixed-term contracts. He identifies one well-known broadcaster who ended up not getting certain benefits due to this fixed-term contract arrangement.
There's one well-known media practitioner who has, raised the concerns about, after working with all the great leaders of this country, she finally said, well, it was public too, so I would not have any difficulty calling her name. She was one of those frontline journalists, came back from the BBC in London and came back to these contract arrangements with all the leaders over the years and wasn't able to secure any pensions when the time came,
Mr. Levy went on to talk about other disadvantages of these fixed-term contracts.
Even with the fixed-term contract, the renewal process, which is where we have had quite a number of problems, the renewal process is so vague, it doesn't have any particular guidelines. You're almost at the mercy of the people that you're working for. So no matter how well you perform, I have cases before the IDT now with the same issue. People who have performed well, who are in a fixed-term contract position, asked to act in a higher position.
Mr. John Levy. Now let's take a look now at immigration matters. Let's now get an update from Opally about the pathway which was allowed by President Biden for a category of persons who entered the U.S. illegally but have married and have been in the U.S. for over 10 years. Anything new?
Right, there's an update. Remember last week I touched on the fact that the parole in place and there's an injunction in place that was supposed to expire September 14.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we just got news yesterday that the judge has further extended it. So now the injunction is in place until September 23. So they've actually added another 2 weeks onto that. What that means is that the USCIS cannot approve any applications while this injunction is in place. So it's bad news for immigrants. And it looks like we're going to have and this is just a temporary injunction, but it looks to me that maybe the court is going to make a ruling on the matter maybe within a month or two to see whether or not it should stand still, Vernon, or if they should do away with it, which I am praying, hoping, keeping my fingers crossed, because I have so many clients and even so many people, immigrants, even Jamaicans, and from elsewhere, where they're dependent, really and truly depending on this to stay, to regularize their status and to have a fighting chance to finally get a green card. And just to remind your listeners, this is for people who entered the United States unlawfully and it's been over 10 years and they're married to a U.S. citizen, no criminal record. They could go ahead and what Biden administration has done, I said, you know what, let me use my executive powers and do a pathway for you guys here to get that green card. So even though you came in illegally, we're going to, you've been here for over 10 years, you do your contribution to society, no criminal record. Let's go ahead and give you a work permit. But an injunction has been placed because they're saying Biden did not have the authority or overstepped his authority. And what he did in their books was unlawful. So that's right now on hold.
openly a U.S. immigration attorney and realtor in Jamaica. Corruption is the headline story almost every day. Corruption is hitting the headlines these days, but that is all it does. If we believe that we will get rid of corruption with more news and more institutions, then Jamaica is a big comedy show. In 2024, JPS lost just over 28 million US, or 4.3 billion, through electricity theft. Many do not pay NWC for their supply of water. I believe that many of us did not get our driver's license by driving for it. We hear horrible stories of people who are scammed of their hard-earned cash because they have been fooled by someone who claimed that they could get a job in the United States for them. Corruption is part and parcel of this country. I understand that people in some areas benefited from government housing and they have not paid mortgages for years. Is that true? Citizens ask the question, why not give a policeman $3,000 rather than pay $10,000 for a traffic ticket? Corruption again. Jamaica should stop promoting puss because puss is bright. Donkey might not be as bright as puss, but he will get the work done. And it is very clear that we have quite a number of puss. And someone should say, I should say, puts them in high places. Corruption is a national thing, not just something which we look into political corners to find. I have been calling on banks, for example, to allow us to add contact persons to our banking information. So if we cannot be found or we suffer from dementia, they can contact that person and that person can help the bank to locate us. No, some want the money to remain in the bank. Is there someone there with some sticky fingers who can reach it? Whatever is left, the government gets it. Corruption is alive and well. If there's corruption at the parliamentary level, I put it to you that it pales in comparison to what is happening at other levels. And talking about corruption, we move on to know some things. And I might ask you, have we forgotten? Some matters have been long forgotten. What has happened to those persons who lost their money in those Ponzi schemes? I know some have died as paupers. Can it happen again? Did anyone pay the price for coming up with these criminal plans? The Dynamo scam, in which millions were used to purchase these so-called Dynabuses, and many of them didn't even last 6 months. What happened to that one? 2 executives of Air Jamaica were murdered. Mr. Lloyd James, the VP of Finance, and Mr. Noel Reddy, the VP of Personnel. Were those cases solved? They might have been. Please, can somebody remind me? The mysterious landing of a plane at Rocky Point in Clarendon in 2021, and the occupants disappeared in thin air. Has that case disappeared in thin air also? FIDSAC, when will we get that commission's report? Well, if you know of other issues that have become 9-day wonders, please let me know. This has been Bar the Truth with Vernon Darby. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and to subscribe to the Bar the Truth YouTube channel and support the Bar the Truth blog. Help to build a strong voice for the people. I am Vernon Darby saying, I love you all. Walk good, my friend.